Guys, I really think we may have been looking at Jason's future all wrong this entire time. Everybody keeps arguing over Britt versus Carly. Like, the show only has those two options left for Jason's heart. But what if that's exactly the trap General Hospital wants us to fall into? What if the real shock is that neither of them is actually Jason's endgame? And honestly, the more I think about it, the more it feels like the writers might be setting up something way bigger than we expected. Because if you ask me, Jason and Carly were never supposed to become some epic love story. They always felt more dangerous as soulmates in friendship, not romance. And yeah, I know they almost crossed that line before. We all remember that fake marriage connected to the Corinthos business. At one point, it even looked like they were starting to develop real feelings. But then Sonny came back at exactly the right moment and everything collapsed before it could become permanent. And maybe that timing mattered more than we realized. Because ever since then, Jason and Carly have always seemed to stop themselves before things went too far. There's loyalty. There's obsession. There's trust. But romantic chemistry? I don't know, guys. Sometimes it feels like the show keeps teasing it without ever truly committing to it. Even recently, during that explosive tension involving Carly and Valentine, something caught my attention immediately. Valentine bringing up Jason and Anna did not feel random to me at all. Carly clearly reacted emotionally when Valentine wanted to secretly protect Anna. Then Valentine fired back by reminding Carly how far she herself has gone for Jason over the years. And the interesting part? Carly almost sounded defensive, trying to explain that Jason was only her closest friend. Only a friend. That wording matters. Because if the writers truly wanted Jason and Carly together romantically, why keep reinforcing this emotional boundary between them? Why continue reminding viewers that these two somehow never fully crossed the line despite everything they've survived together? To me, it feels like the show is quietly telling us something. Jason may always protect Carly. Carly may always choose Jason when things fall apart. But maybe that relationship works precisely because it never becomes romantic permanently. And honestly, I think Carly knows that too. Now, Britt is a completely different story. There was a time when I genuinely thought Britt could become the woman Jason finally settled down with emotionally. You could feel the connection between them. Jason risked himself for her. Britt softened around him in ways she rarely did with anybody else. And for a while, it almost seemed like Jason found peace with her. But the problem is, and peace never lasts long in Port Charles. And if we really look closely at everything that happened before Jason disappeared, there may have been too much damage between them to fully recover from. Physical pain, emotional betrayal, secrets, trauma, the kind of scars that don't magically disappear just because two people still care about each other. That's why I'm starting to wonder if Britt's story with Jason was never meant to be permanent either. Maybe Britt represented the version of Jason that wanted escape. The version that wanted a quieter life. But after everything he went through with the WSB, captivity, manipulation, and all the chaos surrounding his return, would Jason even still be that same man anymore? I don't think so. And this is where things start getting really interesting. Because if it's not Carly and it's not Britt, then who exactly is left as the woman Jason truly cannot let go of? Guys, what if the answer has been sitting in front of us this whole time? Sam, I know, some people are probably rolling their eyes already. But hear me out, because the clues may actually be lining up in a very suspicious way. Right now, Danny seems headed straight into danger. Breaking into Sidwell's castle? That already sounds like the beginning of a disaster. And in typical General Hospital fashion, I seriously doubt this situation stays small. Danny could get arrested. He could disappear. He could be secretly detained somewhere. Honestly, with Sidwell involved, I wouldn't even be shocked if Danny became leverage in a much larger game. And that's where Jason enters the picture. Because while Danny spirals into danger, Jason himself may also be pulled into another secret operation connected to the WSB. We already know Jason's history with them has become darker and more complicated than ever before. So what if Jason getting detained again isn't actually punishment? What if it's preparation? What if the WSB has been hiding something enormous this entire time? And this is the theory that I cannot stop thinking about lately. What if the gift Jason receives while being held secretly by the WSB is the truth about Sam? Because let's be honest here. Soap operas almost never let death stay permanent when a character still has emotional value, especially not a character tied this deeply to Jason and Danny. The moment you introduce secret medical technology, covert agencies, experimental science, hidden facilities, suddenly anything becomes possible. And General Hospital has absolutely done crazier things before. So what if Sam never actually died the way everyone believes? What if the WSB intervened? What if advanced medical procedures saved her somewhere off the grid? And what if Jason learns this information right when Danny's life starts falling apart? That timing would be massive. Imagine Jason discovering that the mother of his son is alive at the exact moment Danny needs both of his parents the most. That kind of emotional setup feels almost too perfect for a soap opera not to attempt. And honestly, if this happens, everything changes. Suddenly, Jason's future doesn't revolve around choosing between Carly or Britt anymore. Suddenly, the real story becomes rebuilding a broken family that never truly stopped loving each other underneath all the tragedy. But here's the part that really gets me thinking. If Sam does return, would she even come back as the same person? Because nobody survives secret WSB experimentation or medical intervention without consequences. There could be memory gaps, psychological trauma, new loyalties, hidden conditioning. And if General Hospital really wants maximum drama, they could make Jason question whether Sam is genuinely herself anymore. Can you imagine how dark that could become? Jason trying to save Danny while also trying to reconnect with Sam, but constantly wondering if the woman standing in front of him is still the woman he lost? That kind of emotional conflict feels very General Hospital to me. And there's another thing nobody seems to be talking about enough. If Sam returns, Carly's entire role in Jason's life may suddenly shift again. Carly might finally realize that what she and Jason share was never supposed to replace romantic love. It may have always been about surviving together emotionally while still belonging to different people deep down. That realization could hurt Carly more than she expects, especially if she sees Jason reconnecting with Sam in a way he never fully reconnected with anybody else. And Britt, honestly, Britt's reaction could become explosive too. Because if Britt still carries unresolved feelings for Jason, watching Sam return from the dead could completely destroy whatever fragile hope remained. No one would see that emotional fallout coming. And let's not forget the Cullum shooting situation hanging over everything. Jason still needs redemption. He still needs his name cleared. Which means if Sam returns during the exact moment Jason is finally proven innocent, the show could frame it almost like destiny, pulling them back together. Jason cleared, Sam alive. Danny rescued. The family reunited. But guys, this is General Hospital. Nothing ever stays simple for long. Because if Sam really is alive, then somebody had to know. Somebody helped hide the truth. Somebody made the decision to keep Jason and Danny grieving for all this time. And if that secret finally explodes into the open, who survives the fallout? That's the question I keep coming back to.